Did you pay attention to the Super Bowl commercials this year? We're going to talk about what was good, what was bad, and what was the Son of God in the commercials this year. What was good? A commercial for popcorners. If you're going to appeal to people who get the munchies occasionally, you might want to use characters like Jesse and Walter White to sell those particular products. So you'll put them in an RV and you'll have them make snacks, and then you'll have Bryan Cranston come out with this particular line.
No, we don't eat our own supply.
Well played. Not only was this a kind of fun idea and bringing back characters that we really loved, but you put them together and you had them play themselves. And by the way, you can have Bryan Cranston do anything, and because he has a background in comedy, he can make stuff funny. Hint, if you want funny things to happen, hire someone who's good at being funny. What was bad? You know those E-Trade commercials with little babies that are talking? Well, they had little babies at a wedding. I'm not even showing you a clip of them because I'm sick of them, and just like you, I don't want to see them again. But if we talk about it, then they'll make more of them, so I'm not going to show you anymore. What I feel neutral about. Anna Faris was in a commercial for avocados from Mexico. It's kind of an interesting concept. She goes to eat the apple and all of a sudden everyone's nude and everyone's nude for the rest of time. But I kind of get the feeling that someone stopped at the idea of let's get Anna Faris, and then they thought let's just have her be nude. And don't get me wrong, I would probably be the guy in the boardroom that said, yeah, just a little too loudly in just agreement to that idea, but they never got past that idea and they never gave her anything else to do. She just kind of shows up, delivers a line, and then they have a bunch of weird cut-ins. It never really develops. That was probably a weird way to talk about that. As long as we're talking about the Garden of Eden, there's a commercial called He Gets Us, which apparently is a commercial for Jesus. I didn't realize he needed more PR, but the point of it is there's some people that are getting angry about it for no particular reason. I guess they never got the connection between football and religion, even though there's a John 3:16 behind every kicker that has ever kicked, and there's people that pray on the field all the time because football players just happen to tend to be religious people. There's a Pepsi commercial starring Ben Stiller, and Ben Stiller did a really good job of dressing up in costumes and being in different movies. In a movie called Tropic Thunder, if you haven't seen it, it's really great. There's a bunch of trailers at the beginning of it where he dresses up as different characters in imaginary movies. It was cool then. Watching it now, it just feels like it was done before for Pepsi. What made it even more awkward is it turned out that Will Ferrell was doing a commercial for GM's EVs, electric vehicles, and he did the same thing, dressing up in different costumes and placing himself in different movies. But since Ben Stiller had already done it, and then you see the Will Ferrell commercial of him being in other movies, it just felt like it was a really bad idea. Speaking of electric vehicles, what a better time to talk about Fast 10, which is the latest in the Fast and Furious enterprise. I'm not going to give my opinion on this because if you like Fast and Furious movies, you don't care what my opinion is. You just want to watch a bunch of cars flip over more times than if you were an ice road trucker in Canada. Good. There's a Dunkin' Donuts commercial that stars Ben Affleck, and he's in the drive-thru of a Dunkin' Donuts, and he's the person that's supposed to be taking your order, but he's kind of pranking people and telling them that he's out of a bunch of stuff when he's obviously not. He's in a Dunkin' Donuts. It's a really great idea when David Letterman did it for McDonald's a long time ago. So it kind of feels like one of those things that's been done before. Weird how Super Bowl commercials keep doing that. Bad, as long as we're talking about things that people have done already. There's a Michelob Ultra commercial where they kind of redo Caddyshack for a commercial, but it's not all the same people that are playing the parts. And there's someone who's playing the part of Carl Spackler, the part that Bill Murray plays. Why? Why would you try to recreate Bill Murray? There's already a Bill Murray. We like him, or at least a lot of people do. Some people don't anymore. I like him, and I think he does what he does brilliantly. Never try to be another comedian. You're just going to end up as a poor carbon copy of another comedian. Rockton. Alicia Silverstone reprises her part of Clueless. Everything seems to be someone redoing something that they did before. Hey, let's redo Caddyshack. Hey, let's redo Clueless. But let's have Alicia Silverstone do it now with people that are students that are adults. Yeah, As if. Bad and good. Two different commercials for T-Mobile. T-Mobile decided to double dip to kind of double their chances of doing it right. The first one has that guy from Scrubs who dances down a street singing a song that's very similar to the Grease song Summer Loving, but it's not Summer Loving because they're trying to introduce a new internet product that you can get internet everywhere. Not only did it remind me of how much I miss Olivia Newton-John, but I did it better in high school when I sang the songs from Grease in my high school production of Grease. That's right, I did it better. The second T-Mobile is kind of smart. What they did is they took Bradley Cooper and they put his mom in the same commercial.
We tried to make a commercial with Bradley Cooper and his mother.
Brilliant setup. His mom is kind of quirky and awkward and a lot of fun. And just seeing the two of them interact is a blast. Bad. Jack Harlow for something called triangle-shaped Doritos. My first question was, who is Jack Harlow? So I looked him up and I found out he has a song called I Wanna See Some. Then he followed it up with another song called Like a Blade of Grass, where he has another line within that song about like. I'm completely cool with you like. I think you've probably overplayed that idea a few times, Jack. And by the way, you made me waste 2 minutes of research looking up who you were. Bud Light. This one is super smart. There's a guy named Miles Teller. If you remember him, he was not only the star of Whiplash, but he's also the star of the latest Top Gun. His wife is someone named Kelly Sperry. She's known for the Taylor Swift video, I Bet You Think About Me. That's right, I not only managed to fit in a reference to Olivia Newton-John, but I also managed to fit in a reference to Taylor Swift. So I have two of my celebrity crushes in the same video here. The premise is that Kelly's on hold, and there's a song that's playing over and over again. And at one point in time, her husband starts dancing, then she starts dancing with them, and whenever the hold music stops,
we thank you for your patience.
They both stop. It's super cute, it's adorable, and on top of that, they're playing a piece of hold music that you're familiar with. It's a 1989 song called Opus Number 1 by Tim Carlton and Derek Deal. They wrote the song in a garage, then one of them went to work for Cisco, and it became the hold music for something that they called Call Manager. And after that, history was made. Now everyone has to listen to that song whenever we're on hold. One of my absolute favorite commercials, something called Workday. This was about rock stars lamenting the fact that there are people in offices who call each other rock stars. Amazing concept. It starred Ozzy Osbourne, Joan Jett, Billy Idol, Paul Stanley, and Gary Clark Jr. Watching them wander around through the commercial and being directed really well, so congratulations to whoever directed them, and complaining about people calling themselves rock stars when they're really not rock stars, was delicious, especially for this line by Ozzy Osbourne.
I've done my share of bad things. Also, your share of bad things.
Ozzy pretty much stole this commercial. Later on, someone asks, "Who's the new guy?" And he responds with,
Hi, I'm Oswald.
brilliantly directed, brilliant concept, and who doesn't want to watch rock stars doing really good comedy? Before I list off my favorite commercials, I want to go through some of the commercials that I wished were better and they weren't. Maya Rudolph does a commercial for M&M's. I'm a huge Maya Rudolph fan. If anyone who knows her is watching this, please apologize for me saying that I don't like this commercial. It wasn't her, it was just a bad concept. They didn't give her very much to do. Wrangler Jeep had animated animals in it. That would have been really cool if Coke hadn't done the same thing with the polar bear back in 1993, and it was iconic for a Super Bowl commercial. John Hamm and Brie Larson are in a commercial for Hellmann's where they do this cute thing about, oh, we're Hamm and Brie. And then Pete Davidson opens up the refrigerator that they're staying in for no particular reason. And it's another one of those times where, why is Pete Davidson there and why am I not laughing? What was my favorite commercial? Well, it actually wasn't a full-length commercial. It was a line inside of a commercial that I liked, because I'm not even sure I'm going to like the bigger thing. There's a trailer for The Flash, and it starts off looking like it could be kind of interesting, but then it gets caught up in the usual comic book stuff where they're playing with the timeline and they're undermining all the characters that you used to love. And then it gets to this one point where suddenly I just stopped and it gave me chills because I saw this.
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Okay, if you're gonna play around with the timeline, bring back Michael Keaton. Hell yes, I'm in. That's right, they messed with the timeline so badly that they brought back a Batman from one of the previous films. So maybe they'll have at least some kind of consistency with one character in the comic book universe at some point in time. Hopefully. I guess that maybe, someday, all will be right in the universe once again. Please take a look at my other videos. Like, subscribe. If you thought this was interesting, check out anything else I've done. Leave a comment below, and thanks.